I want to sketch this car and also maybe get in a person in front. Kind of like they're doing a bit of ice fishing or something like that. Let's have a look. Maybe we'll put the person to the right hand side. I'm just really... I don't have a reference or anything like that. But I know, being in this sort of weather, you're going to need a big jacket and perhaps a beanie or something like that going around. So I'm just trying to get myself a little indication of how I might want to do this. Here's an eye and a bit of the mouth like that. Really, really simple. Arms coming out the side there. Perhaps that this person is holding like a fishing rod. Like this. I don't really know exactly how they look like. I'm trying to picture one in my head. Something like this. And, the knees here. Like that. And then the legs just coming back like that kind of thing. So maybe he's sitting on something like a little box or who knows what. Something like that, which I'll just colour in quickly. And again, maybe some big boots as well, like this. And that one's kind of facing over in that direction. Something like this. I think that should indicate enough of what's might potentially going on in here. And I do have a bit of the arm here as well. It's kind of all obscured and covered. But we've got a person. It's certainly a person. And sitting on something. I have to extend that out a bit there. And perhaps you got a bit of a hook, fishing hook. And there we go. Little area, little hole in the ice. And I'm going to get in this car behind, and I don't want to get it in too big. I'm just going to try to estimate the size of this car. I might put it further back actually here. So we've got it, here's a wheel, then we've got another wheel here underneath like that. Can be this sort of start of it there. This is the bumper. Then on top we've got this bit, and there's these sort of couple of lights maybe here, like this, like that, there. Let's have a look. We've got a bit of this area behind the wheel, like this, which is dark, fairly dark. Not as dark as the wheel, but almost. It's getting there. It's almost kind of blends into one. And underneath I'm going to exaggerate the darkness of that wheel as well. The bonnet sort of goes all the way back like this, there, and then there it is, to the top section, and then we've got this area of the car which runs out to the back like this, and side of the door, the frame of the door. And as we go up, we're starting to do the windscreen as well. Here we go, bit of this section of the windscreen like that. Maybe some of the wipers. This. There's just snow everywhere. There we go. And then we're just going to get the top of the car coming in there. Next to it, we've got this kind of shape like this. There. That's for one of the windows. And then, of course, next to it, the second window like this. Having a look. Size of the car compared to the person, that makes sense. It's not too big, it's not too small. Looks like he could kind of sit in there. There are a few things inside the car as well, which we can put in. That could be the steering wheel perhaps, that kind of thing. There is a mirror on the side of the car like that. A few sort of darker strokes and things inside the car. But I want to just draw the top of it first. Comes down here. Then of course the back sticks out like this, comes down like that. Let's have a look. Where are we going to put the second wheel? I think we will have it around about here. Yeah, around about here. And it's interesting. It looks like I didn't even notice it before, but there are these kind of chains and things that are the wheels been tied with, and I think that's just to give it more traction. I don't live in an area in Australia where we have really any snow, so it's interesting. I think that's what it's there for. But you know, I can indicate a bit of that, but I'm not gonna really bother. You know, I just want to tell the story of this car here, basically. There. I've probably gone a bit too far down with this side of the car, but that's okay. Still looks like a car. You know, there we've got a handle there, little handle here as well. This little separation of the car doors too, like that, and this sort of goes up there. Bonnet there, section like that here. There. There's bits of things coming off the roof. This little roof rack, which I like. Let's get in a few details for this roof rack. It starts off here, comes up like that, and this joins up. Oops, joins up like this. There, there, there. Then you've got these orange-looking. I don't know what they are. Boats, maybe boats. On top, like that, small little boats, and they overlap with each other. That's all I know. Just orange sort of shapes, oval kind of shapes. There we go, that's it really. Just a little bit more for the detail of the car. You know, you've even got things in here, which is like the grills in the front of the car. So I'm going to define these lights a teeny bit more. Also in the kind of wheel in there's a bit more darkness too. You know, this section of the wheel is kind of darker at the front, runs towards the back. There, a lot of it's just covered in snow. Even underneath there is a shadow. Oh, you can see a little back wheel, a little bit of the back wheel just popping through like that as well. There, there, just a bit of a shadow underneath the car, like this guy's going on a kind of an expedition, and you know, just seeing what else I might be able to put in. I'm pretty happy with how it looks currently, so I don't feel like I need to do all that much extra. You know, we could put in some hills or something, very distant hills, off in the you know, in the background down here. Just coming in like this. I'm doing it very, very lightly. They are here, kind of just running down towards the back like that. Just to put something in the background, and I don't know, I think that should do it really. The rest of it is just going to be snow and things. He could have, like, you know, a bucket or something like that here. I think that would be good. Indicate a bit of details and things like that. There could be, you know, a little thing here where he stores his catch or the fish or things like that he gets. So, you know, there's a little something. I'm just making this up as I go. Maybe he's got a drink here or some food. You know, just bits and pieces left here on the ground. I don't know what else you'd really have here. To be honest, maybe like some fishing line or something here on the ground. Another rod, perhaps. You know, we could even have another person just over here standing up, but further in the distance, just walking over to the scene. I'm trying to get this big kind of puffy jacket in as well. A little bit of that puffy jacket on for this guy in the background. It's just some small details really, not that much at all, just to get a figure here moving in from the background, maybe a bit of the head or the face showing through like that. But really not that much at all. There, these people could be you know, a couple of buddies just out on a little fishing trip or something like that on the ice. finishing touches to this car. Might put in just the seats here at the back, just indication of some of the seats. I don't know if I'll go too detailed with them, but I know they sort of just cut across underneath like that. Bits and pieces here as well. Looks like it could be a seat belt or something. And look, I mean, all the details are pretty much here. Not trying to get anything excessively detailed, but I do want some of these pen marks to hang around when I go through with the watercolors after. So I think we'll leave that as is. The only other thing I could think of maybe is perhaps getting in a third figure, I mean, just behind this guy. A lot of this is white, and actually it's not completely white. We've got some darkness underneath the car, and I'm probably going to get some bluish areas here in the snow and some at the back as well to indicate those mountains. It's going to be very hard to stop everything from mixing as well, because it's all essentially ink that's going to mix on the paper. So I've got some cerulean blue, and I'm just going to drop some of that in for this car. I really like the color of this car, and even some, a bit of white gouache here, tiny bit there. Let's just put in a bit more of that cerulean blue, tiny bit more here, and look, all of this stuff is going to mix. There's no way you can prevent the ink from preventing it from mixing. So, I'm trying to just control it a bit by leaving some areas of white and areas like that, but for most parts, there's not all that much you can do. In fact, it's quite exciting to see what happens when I do this, and that's why I'm, trying something new. It's always good to try something new. Here we go, just a bit of color here underneath the car. The inks the black ink is going to spread anyway and make this car darker so that it will come forwards, but I'm just facilitating that a bit and also adding in a teeny bit of color in this area. There we go, look, just a few little marks, quick little marks like that. Maybe some darkness here in the wheels, just a little bit in the wheels, and in this section here as well. Underneath the car, I do feel that there would be it'd be beneficial if we got some darkness under there too. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get in a bit of neutral tint underneath, just a little bit joining up the wheels like that. And it actually goes further back there, hitting that side, and then these two wheels here at the front as well, they join up. But I want this all to look like one, one really big shape that's just joined together like this. Okay, there we go. Even a bit of this side. The windscreen isn't completely transparent as well. As you can see inside, we've got this chair, and we've also got this dashboard and the steering wheel. So all I'm doing is just mainly dropping in a bit of water, though I have put in a little bit of color in there as well, just to make sure that blends a little bit, even some of this area of the roof like that. We don't want to leave the whole area white. Okay, so I'm just looking for bits and pieces that I might be able to add in. This boat, whatever they are, these boats on top, I love the color of them, just having some red, really vibrant red running through. It's a warm color to contrast with all these blues underneath. One thing I do need to emphasize more is these little roof racks which run across the roof as well. And I'm going to join them on just like this, just join them onto the red. Okay, so that it kind of runs together and looks a bit more fluid. Okay, it could be anything up there on the roof. Another thing I'll do is just soften up this area, this little, what do you call it, the bumper. The lights I don't think I'll really touch them all that much. I was kind of thinking whether I should put in a bit of yellow. We can try it. At least you know what it looks like without the yellow. But if I say put in a little bit of yellow here, this is what happens. That looks okay. Just kind of a... But as you can see, the black ink starts to overpower it quite quickly. So, a bit of water in here as well. I'm just going to flick in a little water into this section to encourage just some areas to bloom, really, so that it looks kind of like this older car. I don't know what's going to happen when I drop this water in, and that's the fun thing about it. Just let go and let it do its thing. It might work, it might not, but it still certainly is going to look like a car. That I can say for sure. So going like that, a bit of colour at the back. This little figure here fishing. Now maybe we can add in just a bit of this neutral tint. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking also I don't want to make it too dark. Just very, very light wash. I mean, I could even use the ink and just move that ink around on the page like this. And the purpose of this is, I'm essentially just wanting to bring this figure forward, okay, so that it doesn't just disappear kind of into the snow. So I'm going to see how that works. So maybe, the feet. Whoops, I've gone a bit too much for that foot. Even some blue might look alright, just in the hat that the person's wearing, something like that. It's not rocket science. Now it's got a kind of fishing rod here. Looks like a fishing rod that I drew in, and it's going into the ground here. I'm going to put in a little bit of water next to this area where he's cut out a hole in the ice, and some little marks on the ground and like this as well, just so that the area doesn't look all the same kind of white running through the whole, so just some little bits and pieces like that. But for most of it I'm just going to leave white actually, but I do feel some kind of texture here would be nice, and joining up as well with that shadow a bit. Perhaps a bit behind the car like this, just showing the path in which the car's travelled. Like that would be nice as well. Something real quick. I'm not even trying to get in much detail. In fact, that is way too dark. Way too dark. Figure on the top right hand corner. Let's get a light wash of colour there. I don't want too much colour. Figure's over in the background, so I don't want that figure to be a focal point, but just a area of interest. In the bucket that the person's fishing from there's another one here. I'm just going by warm and cool colours. Just warm and cool colours like that. Now this little area of mountainous region in the back, I'm just going to go pick up a very, very light wash of cerulean blue. It's almost 90% water and 10% pigment, and I'm just dropping in a little bit of that there, okay, to indicate the area, the sort of mountainous area in the background. Maybe some texture on the ground like that in some areas. I'm just picking up some clean water. I don't want to get rid of all that white, but with snow there's always things on the ground, little footprints and inconsistencies, mounds of snow and things like that. So that's why I'm doing this. Okay. I like this sort of effect of this blizzard kind of effect with the snow all over the place. What I'm going to try to do, just for a bit of fun, I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I'm going to pick up a tiny bit of white gouache and give it a tap all over the page, and I'm going to see if that can create some kind of snow-like effect. There's a lot of vibrancy is gone, sort of disappeared from here. It's really up to you. I mean, you can go into it and just add in a little bit more color like what I'm doing here, but look, it's really not 100% necessary. This is the good thing about doing this though, is that it creates this effect of kind of a weathered look on this car. So as I drag the brush kind of across and I've dried the brush a little bit, you get a little bit of this kind of textured effect on the car. And you know, you don't want to do it in all the areas, you just want to pick a few areas here and there. Okay, even here I've missed a bit here, the roof of the car, something there, you know, even on the bits of the boat and stuff like that up the top. I think they're boats anyway. You know, a bit of darkness running through that top area as well, like that. Okay. Pick up a bit of the white gouache. Bit of that white gouache. Let's try. It will kind of maybe look like some snow running through this area. I'm guessing. I don't really like doing this because it's messy. But, you know, good to give things a try. You know, just see what it looks like. It's hard, you're going to hardly be able to tell anyway, because there's all this, most of the paper is white. Okay. White gouache! And that's it, we're finished.
If you like this video, check out the playlist on the right. I release new tutorials and art supply reviews each week to help you progress faster in your watercolor journey.